Henan village and town bank depositors come up with a brilliant idea, praised as wise by netizens. Will Su Jiayin face the death penalty? Experts weigh in. The heinous crime of killing is needed. Without resolution, the nation cannot find peace. Inviting both Chinese and foreigners for tea highlights Xi Jinping's incompetence? It's all covered in today's China Truths. Henan village and town bank depositors come up with a brilliant idea, praised as wise by netizens. The situation with the Henan village and town bank depositors remains unresolved and is escalating. Amid China's economic troubles, the crisis is growing. For nearly 700 days, depositors have been unable to access their funds, with withdrawals mysteriously blocked. In a severe ruling, the Xuchang Intermediate People's Court accused the depositors of being involved in fundraising fraud. In response, the depositors have come together to issue a shocking joint reward announcement on January 30th, offering a 1 million yuan, approximately $140,000, reward for information on illegal activities by Yuan Xiaogang and Zhou Jigang, high-ranking officials in Hunan's court system, or at least 100,000 yuan, approximately $14,000, for information resulting in their disciplinary action, with confidentiality guaranteed for informants. Interestingly, the reward notice bears 10 seals, many from companies and partnerships across various provinces including Zhejiang, Fujian, and Guizhou. A leaked chat explains that most affected depositors are entrepreneurs with substantial deposits, indicating their business success. These unresolved banking issues have led to a severe financial crunch, pushing many to the verge of bankruptcy. In desperation and with nothing left to lose, they're openly challenging the system, indicated by the use of company seals on the notice. The Henan Rural Bank Depositor Crisis broke out in April 2022 and has lasted for nearly 2 years now. The depositors, undeterred, are leveraging the known corruption within CCP officialdom and the official sphere of anti-corruption measures to publicize their plight. Activist Chen Guangqing has even commented on social media, endorsing this approach as effective. Some individuals are pointing out how the Henan village and town bank depositors are exemplifying a long-haul fight, displaying intelligence, bravery, and proactive measures. They're unshakable and steadfast in their resistance. There's a belief that if all future protests adopt this approach, the CCP's control mechanisms could rapidly break down. There are also views circulating like, this is starting to look like a revolt and what's next? Offering a bounty for Xi Jinping's arrest? From the get-go, the Henan village and town bank crisis has garnered global media interest. It's a wake-up call, signaling an impending banking crisis in China, especially post-2023's real estate market crash, which points towards an unavoidable financial crisis. US-based economist Qing Xiaonong, in a recent Radio Free Asia article, analyzed Xi Jinping's January 16 speech at a financial development seminar. Xi's emphasis on averting systemic financial risks and fortifying financial regulations, making them more stringent and impactful, hints at the brewing of a financial crisis in China. Xi Jinping's demand for tougher, more effective financial regulations likely targets businesses and individuals with bank deposits, who may end up bearing the brunt of these measures. Qing Xiaonong interprets such moves by an authoritarian regime as a sign of an imminent financial crisis. The regime appears ready to tap into the public's assets to salvage its power. This situation suggests the ordeal faced by the Henan village and town bank depositors could soon become a widespread issue across China. Will Su Jiayin face the death penalty? Experts weigh in. Evergrande, a leading Chinese real estate firm, was ordered by a Hong Kong court to liquidate on January 29, following over 2 years of financial distress. Since last September, top executives of Evergrande, including Su Jiayin, have been arrested. The prevailing public concern is whether Su Jiayin will be sentenced to death like Lai Xiaoman from China Huarong, who was executed for bribery despite being acknowledged for significant contributions. Such an execution was a rare occurrence in Xi Jinping's tenure, with only one other high-ranking official executed for a crime since 2012. Regarding Su Jiayin's fate, Wang Huntao, chairman of the National Committee of the China Democratic Party, said on January 31 that Hong Kong doesn't impose the death penalty on those convicted of economic crimes, and he believes mainland China will not sentence Su Jiayin to death either. This stance stems from the Yuanhua Group case years ago when main suspect Lai Changqing fled to Canada, leading to Beijing's promise not to seek the death penalty for Lai in extradition talks. Since then, the CCP has generally avoided death sentences for economic criminals to aid international pursuits. Wang Huntao believes Lai Xiaoman's death sentence, former chairman of Huarong, wasn't for typical economic crimes. He suggests there were other undisclosed reasons, possibly because Lai implicated others who shouldn't have been involved. Similarly, Mr. Feng Chongyi, associate professor at the University of Technology Sydney, also differentiated between Lai Xiaoman, Su Jiayin, and Xiao Jianhua. He highlighted Xi Jinping's view of non-elite officials as robbing the parties and Xi's wealth, deserving severe punishment to gain public support. Mr. Feng noted that Xi's anti-corruption campaign often targets officials for public example, leading to direct death sentences in cases like Lai's. Feng views these individuals as tools for Xi to combat political adversaries and reclaim assets. Similar to Wang Huntao, Mr. Feng doesn't foresee a death sentence for Su Jiayin, speculating that the severity will depend on his cooperation with Xi Jinping. He believes the authorities need Su to return funds to compensate homeowners of unfinished projects, using him as a political tool to maintain regime stability and public favor. Independent commentator Kai Shinkuan, in a January 30 Epoch Times interview, said Su Jiayin's fate hinges on whether Evergrande's liquidation triggers significant group incidents. He doesn't see Su's actions as grievously criminal like Lai Xiaoman's, who was part of the state financial system and betrayed state assets. Su, a private entrepreneur, had significant dealings with officials but doesn't owe substantial amounts to state banks. His main debts are to foreign investors, engineering and supply payments, and home buyers. Moreover, as a real estate developer, Su Jiayin indirectly supported government-backed property price surges. Therefore, Kai thinks Su's punishment won't be overly harsh unless he disclosed sensitive information, in which case more drastic measures could be considered. The heinous crime of killing is needed. Without resolution, the nation cannot find peace. On January 27, Chen Jingyu, a CCP lung transplant expert at Zhejiang University's second affiliated hospital, revealed on Weibo that he performed 370 lung transplants in Wuxi and Hangzhou in 2023, more than one surgery per day. Including operations elsewhere, the total number is even higher. Chen claims these organs came from brain-dead donors since 2015, following China's adoption of organ harvesting from such individuals. However, brain death and heart-brain death differ. A brain-dead person can still maintain vital functions with medical support, making them essentially alive for transplantation purposes. In contrast, heart-brain death donors are truly deceased, having lost all autonomous functions. Chen's high surgical volume and the scarcity of voluntary donors in China raise doubts, especially considering the rarity of perfect HLA, human leukocyte antigen, matches between donors and recipients. The probability of such a match is very low, with the probability ranging from 25% to 50% among direct relatives, and between 1 in 1,000 to 1 in tens of thousands among non-relatives. For the 370 surgeries Chen Jingyu completed, at least 370,000 brain-dead donors would be needed to meet these matching needs. Therefore, is this feasible? Common sense suggests it's not. Firstly, there aren't that many brain-dead individuals, and secondly, achieving a successful match is incredibly challenging. Furthermore, the method of obtaining lungs for transplantation, as described by Chen Jingyu, is ethically questionable. Removing organs from brain-dead donors, who are technically still alive, effectively causes their death, contradicting his claims of using legally donated organs. The CCP's criminal law defines death as the cessation of spontaneous breathing, heartbeat, and pupil reflexes, heart-brain death, not brain death. The discrepancy in definitions and the improbability of sufficient donor availability raises the question, where exactly did the lungs Chen transplanted come from? On November 5, 2013, Hong Kong's Phoenix Weekly published a detailed report titled The Dark Side of Human Organ Trafficking in China, which noted, due to the urgency and high matching difficulty in organ transplantation, patients worldwide typically wait years for an organ. According to a report by the U.S. Department of Health, www.organdonor.gov, the average waiting time in the U.S. is 1,121 days for a kidney, 796 days for a liver, 230 days for a heart, 1,068 days for lungs, and 501 days for a pancreas. The same was true in China before 2000. However, after 2000, especially between 2003 and 2006, there was a massive surge in transplants in mainland China, with significantly reduced waiting times due to an abundance of organ sources. International medical experts, analyzing the peculiarities of the mainland organ market, believe there must be a vast, even living, underground human organ bank in mainland China. These living organ suppliers, pre-screened for blood type and other relevant data, are sent to hospitals, essentially slaughterhouses, upon receiving an organ demand from the market, ensuring the extremely short waiting times seen in the organ market. The Phoenix Weekly article pointed to a living organ bank that could be a key source for the lungs transplanted by Chen Jingyu. Since the 2006 disclosure in the U.S. about the CCP's organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners, extensive investigations by human rights lawyers, medical professionals, and groups like the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation have affirmed the ongoing reality of this large-scale practice. In 2016, David Mattis, David Kilger, and Ethan Gutman, after a decade of research, published a report in Washington estimating 60,000 to 100,000 annual organ transplants in China, many from Falun Gong practitioners, potentially totaling 1.5 million from 2000 to 2016. The World Organization to Investigate the Persecution of Falun Gong's 17-year investigation, documented in ironclad and irrefutable evidence, corroborates these findings. On July 17, 2023, this organization publicized a dying testimony from a victim of organ harvesting, filmed by a doctor who reported it. The victim, 46-year-old Zhang Xiuying, had her organs harvested at PLA 211 Hospital in Harbin on April 28, 2019, and died the following day. Investigations suggest the CCP likely maintains a live organ bank, mainly consisting of illegally detained Falun Gong practitioners. In August 2016, the same organization announced an investigation into Chen Jingyu for his alleged role in harvesting organs from Falun Gong practitioners, implicating him in potential genocide. The lungs Chen transplanted might well have been illicitly harvested from Falun Gong practitioners. Chen Jingyu isn't just a transplant specialist, he's a CCP member, serving as a delegate to the National People's Congress and receiving various state honors. In the CCP's large-scale organ harvesting operation, many doctors, possibly including Chen, have been complicit. Heading into 2024, the CCP, led by Xi Jinping, faces mounting challenges and disasters, both natural and man-made, with each of Xi's initiatives seemingly leading to turmoil and failure, even deaths. Why is this happening? Since the Chinese Communist Party, under Jiang Zemin's ruling, initiated its persecution of Falun Gong on July 20, 1999, the egregious act of large-scale organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners remains unaccounted for. This crime weighs heavily on the CCP, offering no way out despite their extensive efforts. Falun Gong is a spiritual practice rooted in Buddhist traditions. Despite facing 25 years of persecution by the CCP, Falun Gong continues to spread widely across 156 countries worldwide, offering substantial health and spiritual benefits to its practitioners. Historically, the suppression of any religion, including Christians, Buddhists, and others, is an extremely serious sin. The enormity of the CCP's sins in murdering Buddhist practitioners is vast and beyond measure. If this crime is not redressed, the country will never have peace. Furthermore, reports indicate that the CCP's organ harvesting crimes have extended beyond Falun Gong practitioners, now including Uyghurs from Xinjiang, Tibetans, missing high school and college students, the homeless, and others. The lungs used in Chen Jingyu's transplants could also originate from these additional victimized groups. Whoever the victims of these organ harvests may be, such actions constitute a violation of justice, human rights, and basic human decency. Without addressing and rectifying these atrocious violations against humanity and natural law, the country cannot hope to achieve peace. Inviting both Chinese and foreigners for tea highlights Xi Jinping's incompetence. Once a phrase associated with friendly and elegant social activity, drinking tea has acquired a more terrorizing meaning in mainland China. The Ministry of State Security in China recently issued a warning through an article titled "Listen to Advice. Don't let national security agencies invite you for these 10 cups of tea." The article outlines 10 scenarios that could lead to an invitation for tea from national security agencies. These include committing national security crimes, participating in or assisting espionage, neglecting anti-spying measures, infringing on national security-related construction permits, and refusing to cooperate in espionage investigations. Other listed circumstances involve illegal possession or handling of state secrets, producing or trafficking espionage tools, leaking state secrets pertinent to anti-espionage and intelligence efforts, breaching exit restrictions, and other actions detrimental to national security. In this context, being invited for tea is a metaphor that carries threatening undertones. In this regard, some commentators believe that Xi Jinping has no ability to govern the country. He wants both the economy and national security. However, these contradictory practices have restricted each functional department from each other. For example, German university professor Zhu Rui criticizes Xi Jinping's leadership for lacking effective governance skills, highlighting the conflicting aims of pursuing economic growth and ensuring national security. This conflict leads to dysfunction across government departments. Zhu points out that Xi Jinping assigns separate goals to his subordinates. State Security Minister Chen Yixin focuses on national security, while Premier Li Qiang concentrates on economic development. However, the economic openness necessary for growth often clashes with Chen Yixin's security measures. Zhu humorously suggests that security officials might as well invite Premier Li Qiang for tea. Since 2023, the CCP has increasingly scrutinized foreign firms in China, leading to detentions and raids on companies like the Mintz Group and Bain & Company. This includes a senior executive from Kroll in Hong Kong being barred from leaving China and a senior banker from Nomura being unable to return to Hong Kong. These actions align with the CCP's tighter enforcement of the counter-espionage law. Additionally, the implementation of the Foreign State Immunity Law in 2024 marks a shift from absolute to restrictive state immunity, allowing Chinese courts to hear cases against foreign states. Since the Ministry of State Security in China overtly involved itself in economic affairs last December, it has developed the absurd green light spy narrative, urging citizens to participate in spy hunting. This month, the ministry alleged discovering a case involving British MI6 using individuals from third countries for espionage within China. Additionally, they accused foreign organizations of specifically targeting Chinese aviation hobbyists to recruit as volunteers for illicitly gathering and covertly sending flight data of Chinese aircraft to foreign entities. On January 26, a spokesperson from the Chinese Foreign Ministry stated that a British businessman was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in 2022 for acquiring and illegally providing intelligence to overseas interests. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.